Coming up next, I'll tell you the silver lining in the unemployment rate, and I'll teach you on one of the greatest mistakes in life. We'll take your calls and your chats. It all starts right now. I am coming to you live from Ramsey Studios in Nashville, and you are joining a conversation about who you are, what you were created to do, where you want to do that, and how you can get there. It's all about you, because you were created to fill a unique role through your work. You were created to contribute. So that means you are really, really valuable. But it also means that you are really, really needed. You got to show up and be you. Somebody out there needs you to be you. So this isn't about selfish ambition. This is about selfless ambition. 844-747-2577 is the number. 844-747-2577. Go ahead and get your chat questions in now, and we'll get to those a little bit later in the program. Is there good news in the devastatingly negative unemployment numbers? It's possible. Doing some research and reading about the unemployment numbers that continue to come out, and they continue to go up, up, up. April's numbers, 14% unemployment, the highest unemployment rate on record. Juxtapose that from the end of February, where we were at 3.5% unemployment, and it's almost hard to comprehend the amount of whiplash that our economy has gone through. But diving into the numbers, I thought maybe some much better news is closer than we realize. So let's look at it. Normally, in a normal economy, so let's just go back to 2019 at this time, okay? Generally, that's in a normal environment, 3 out of 10 people who have lost their jobs do so to a temporary layoff. Now, if you look at April 2020, last month, so we're looking at last month's numbers, almost 9 out of 10 of people who are unemployed said their situation was temporary. Is that positive thinking? Is it just them being optimistic, or they know something that the experts, the news journalists, don't know? I'll hold my opinion. Let's dive in a little bit more. Now let's look at the unemployment rate in certain industries. The unemployment rate in the leisure and hospitality sector has risen to almost 40%. That's a huge number. Obviously, wholesale and retail has also been hit hard. That's a 20% unemployment rate. So when you look at those numbers and you think, well, 9 out of 10 people who are unemployed right now think that their unemployment is temporary, and you look at those two sectors, well, those two sectors, leisure, hospitality, wholesale, retail, those are inextricably tied to consumer confidence. Okay? People feel like they can spend their money, or they can actually go out and have a meal and not catch coronavirus, all these things. Consumer confidence is driving the contraction in those two areas. All right, let's go on more. If you look at the stock market, people are saying, I'm so sick of this, by the way, the news media. Why is the stock market climbing and unemployment is climbing? It makes no sense. Yes, it actually makes sense based on those numbers I just shared with you. Those are largely jobs that will come back pretty quickly as consumer confidence comes back, okay? So the stock market, these are just investors that are betting that we're going to have a recovery when people get comfortable getting back out. Then, of course, these jobs are going to come back. Let's look at the finance industry, which is, again, Wall Street. The unemployment rate there, while hit hard, just 5%. So you put all those things together, and then you look at this. Part-time workers have seen the biggest jump in unemployment. Part-time work is obviously generally less secure than full-time work. 1 in 4 workers who are part-time are currently unemployed. That's double the full-time unemployment rate. Okay, why do I give you all of that? I'm optimistic. I don't know if we'll see a V-shaped recovery, and it's all a bunch of nonsense, all these descriptors. What's the difference between a V and a U, right? We got the way the line goes. Here's the point. as consumers in America get more confident, and all the extenuating factors that go into that, as they get more confident, it looks like there's a silver lining here, that this will be a temporary, massive job loss situation, and we will see job gains also create a rapid upward line, and thus the economy can follow. Because if you think about it, did the economy really reset? I don't think so. I think it was an absolute pause. And so pushing the button again is not going to be as quickly as we paused it. Pushing play is not going to happen. But I want you to be encouraged. And here's my point. I think those people who are reporting that, I think they know more about their job situation than I do and the media does. I'm encouraged. Better days are ahead. 844-747-2577 is the number. 844-747-2577, the number to jump in. Remember, send your chat questions right now in the window next to the video here, and we'll get them to the laptop. I can see they're already coming in. Also, while you're watching, you enjoy the show, give us a thumbs up right below the video window, subscribe, and share. All right, we go to Michael in Riverside, California. Michael, you're on the Ken Coleman Show.
Hey, Ken, how's it going?
Michael, I'm living the dream. What's going on?
So I'm calling because I'm thinking about starting my own business.
Okay.
But I just wanted to know what the first steps would be because I've never been through anything like this before.
Okay, well, let's get a picture so that we can kind of dive into what a plan might look like. What kind of business are we talking about?
Like men's grooming, products.
Okay. Are we talking about beard, hair, the whole 9 yards?
The whole 9. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And what's your current employment and financial situation? Give me a snapshot.
I work in IT full-time, between, let's say, 50 and 70.
Okay, good. And do you have any debt?
Yes, I am. I'm currently in baby step 2 right now.
Oh, okay. Dave Ramsey's baby steps, get you out of debt. How much debt do you have left, and when do you expect to pay it off?
I expect to pay it off next year, probably around this time. Currently around $40,000.
Okay, great. So a year from now, around this time, we'll say next spring, you are debt free. How much money is it going to cost you to start this business, this side hustle of men's grooming products? Obviously, I know you've got the product itself. You're going to have to buy a certain amount, so you've got some inventory there. What are your other expenses to get going?
That's what I didn't really know. I was calling, like, I've heard about people calling and talk about making an LLC or stuff like that, if there's any expense behind that.
Well, you have some minor expenses. Those are very, very minor. So what you're talking about is
big, though.
Yeah. So what you want to do is you can do you have an accountant right now, a bookkeeper, does your taxes?
Not at the moment.
Yeah. You need to look around. In fact, I'd actually go to DaveRamsey.com. You already trust Dave. And I would find a local tax advisor. We have an endorsed local provider program. And so I would look online and let's find a good tax advisor in your area. Maybe talk to 2 or 3, interview them like they work for you, because they should. And you get comfortable with one of those folks. Then I want you to sit down with them and say, okay, do I want an LLC, S Corp, C Corp, all the stuff. You can walk through that. But that's not major expense. You're going to pay them for their time to help you set that up. You can file stuff. But I'm talking about just getting the business up and running. Outside of the inventory, the products themselves, what else are we talking about?
To start, it'd probably be, primarily online. I'm thinking maybe around 10,000.
Okay. You need to know what that number is, and then I'm going to challenge you to do the shoestring budget. What you think is 10, I'm going to challenge you to do it for 3. Okay. And I think when you can get scrappy and figure out how to do that, you can. There are website services out there that will cost you next to nothing, and they've got templates, and you can help one of your friends who's a programmer move into his new house or do his lawn for 6 weeks, buy him some really, really nice, fun things or whatever, and say, hey, I need your help. Here's my point. You can create a very nice looking website that's e-commerce functional through a ton of different template sites. You don't need to spend 10 grand on a website. Not at all. Not even close. Do you understand what I'm saying? Have we lost Michael? I blew his mind. It was too much for him to handle. He couldn't believe that it would be less than $10,000. So here's the deal. For the rest of you out there, Michael doesn't need to spend $10,000. He needs to spend less than $1,000 on that website and filing his stuff. He can easily do that. Easily. Now, I don't know what his inventory is going to cost, but he's got to look at that, and you want to go small on inventory. Don't sell 50 products. Sell 2, 3, 4. Prove the concept. So we lost Michael. I don't know what happened, but bottom line is this. Michael, if you're still listening, I think he is. I don't want you to start this business until you can, A, get a real, true financial plan in place for what it's actually going to cost you at the bargain basement, the cheapest way possible. Okay? So we need to know what that number is. Then you need to save that number up. And I'd like you to get a second job right now to fund that so that you can keep going on your baby steps. That would be my advice, but go for it. Start small, grow slow. Okay? Don't do too much. You don't want to be stuck with a bunch of inventory. There's no need. Prove the concept. 844-747-2577. Boy, the chat questions are rolling in, Joe. We'll get to those in just a moment. In fact, let's go to those now. Oh, wait, we got Lauren coming in. I'll tell you, we'll do a chat. I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to jump back and forth because that's the mood I'm in today. I've got my green smoothie here. It's kind of hidden behind the thing. There it is. Joe wanted to know what in the world was in this. Basically, all the things Joe would never eat. That's what's in this.
You got that right.
That's fruit. That's almond milk, the whole 9 yards. And it gives you the energy, Joe.
Michael? Well, that would be nice.
Oh, that's good. So good, Joe. What makes Joe nervous is the green, and that's the spinach. See, Joe doesn't like his greens, but it's the only way I could get him to do it. So one of these days, I'm going to get you the smoothie and make you drink it. All right, let's go into the chat room. We got Ashley here. She says, hey, Ken, I'm desperate to leave a toxic job, and I know the direction I want to take. My dilemma is my current job pays really well, and it's allowing me to pay off my school debt. The new job will be a drop in money. How do I bridge the gap? This is a very real question. She's going, okay, I'm in a toxic job, not good. I've got debt, not good. But the toxic job does pay me well, and it is allowing me to pay off school debt. That's good. And I also know what I really want to do. That's good. But the thing that I really want to do pays me less money. That's not good, right? So what's happening right now, Ashley, is you've got this heart and head wrestling match, and it's normal. Here's the reality. Let's break it all down. The fact that you're in a toxic job, whether you had debt or not, you'd want to get out of that. You can't stay in a toxic environment very long. Can you put up with it for a while? Sure. Sure you can. Sure. But how long? What's realistic there? I think that's what you have to be very honest with yourself. What are the mental and emotional and then physical downsides, effects of working in a toxic environment? What's the most you could say there? I think you have to wrestle with that and get that answer. Now, once we know that, then we look at, okay, good news is I know what direction I want to go, and I love it, but it's going to be less money. So what do I do? Well, you cut expenses. Maybe you take the new job, the thing you want to do, and then you get a side hustle with that. That helps you bridge the gap. So it's going to come down to, again, sacrificing. And that sacrifice might be you staying in that toxic job a little bit longer to save some money to allow you to then step into the new job. Toxicity gone. Very happy Ashley. Very fulfilled Ashley. That means Ashley's going to be on fire. And you've saved some money to be able to bridge that gap, and you line up maybe a second job in the meantime. And again, saving and cutting spending. You can do this. You can get there, but it's just a math problem. Write the math problem out. What needs to be true for me to be able to step into this new opportunity? All right, let's go back to the phones. We're going to jump back and forth. I kind of like this. Let's go to Lauren, who's up next in Dallas, Texas. Lauren, you're on the Ken Coleman Show.
Okay.
Hey,
Hi,
Lauren.
Ken.
How are you?
Hi, Ken. I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm going to have another sip of my smoothie while you tell me what's up.
So, I work in a grocery store, and I've just, since COVID started, I've been feeling really, really tired and frustrated with everything going on.
Yeah. What's causing all of that?
I feel like it's the way my company has chosen to handle taking care of the customers and the way that they're taking care of us.
Be more specific. Does that mean you don't feel safe? I want you to be very specific.
Well, it's frustrating the way that the customers aren't treating us respectfully, even though we're working hard, and how the company expects us to work in a not quite safe environment with all of the sickness spreading and going on.
Okay. So you feel disrespected and you feel like you're being put in a position where you're not safe. That'll cause some build up pretty quick. And that's what's going on. So what can I help you with? What's your question for me?
I need encouragement. I'm also wondering, like, how much longer should I stay at this job?
Until you stay there, until you A, find something else to step into, or B, realize that you don't have to be working there. Do you need the income right now?
I don't necessarily need the income. I still live with my parents, but my dad's job is not so secure right now as mine. Mm-hmm.
So you're helping mom and dad with their bills?
Yes.
What's your contribution each month?
I don't actually contribute to their bills. I'm really trying to help us build up savings while they're paying off their debt.
Okay, I got you. How old are you, Lauren?
I'm 18.
You're 18. Okay, did you just finish high school? Still in high school? What's the situation?
I'll be graduating next week.
Okay, great. All right. So, Lauren, I would leave soon because you're 18, and I know that you're helping mom and dad, but there's nobody else relying on you. You have so much more freedom than somebody who would be 28, I think. I don't think, I know. And so what I would do is I'd hang in there until you do have something to go to. That way, you feel better about still making money to help mom and dad out. But I think as an 18-year-old, you could step out of that job in the next, I think, week or 2 weeks easily. There's so many things that are available to you. You could be driving delivery for restaurants and things of that nature in Dallas, Texas. Texas is coming back online. You know, you could go from working in a grocery store to doing something very similar in a pharmacy. Pharmacies are hiring like crazy. Okay. You know, you got your big box stores, like your home improvement stores and your Walmarts and Targets. You know, you can shift gears unless you feel like that keeps you in a mindset that I don't feel safe. So you got to decide what is really scary to you, and you got to have to deal with that. But for an 18-year-old right now, the kind of money you get paid, you can move to something else quickly in Dallas, Texas, and I think you should. But you have to weigh what you didn't like about this current situation, which is the way you're being treated by leadership and the way you think you're being treated by customers. Because you've got to know how much of that is you and how much of that is them.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying? Like, are you a little extra sensitive? Are you really scared? And a scared person becomes very, very sensitive as well. It's very hard for you to be rational when you're afraid that you're going to get sick every time you step into the workplace.
I'm more concerned about the job market and the situations right now because I would like to grow my career, not just step out of one grocery store job and move into a different field.
Great. Well, you know what? I assumed that you didn't know that, and because you didn't say anything about that. I love it that an 18-year-old wants to grow their career. What is that? Give me the 5-10 year picture. Where are you? If you just make it happen.
I'm hoping to start an I want to be an entrepreneur. I'd like to start helping people with financial coaching and maybe build a team of financial coaching in the Dallas area.
Great. Okay. So have you thought about Ramsey Solutions and saving up some money and letting our financial coach master training get you ready to go?
Yes, I have.
Good. Well, so here's my point. Lauren, you either stay where you are and change your attitude, or move locations. I don't care if it's another grocery store or a pharmacy, or what if you're delivering pizza? You can make more money delivering pizza than you can being a grocery store clerk. A lot more.
Okay.
You can do Uber Eats, or any kind of food delivery right now is going crazy. Okay? I don't want any more, I don't want to do this. Who cares? You're 18. You got a vision. Who cares what you do now? I can't tell you how many odd jobs I had, Lauren, and they were all temporary, short-term, designed to make me the money that I needed to keep moving through the next stage. And so now you know what it costs to take financial coach master training here at Ramsey. You're working to save up that number, and you're going to stay working after you get trained, because you're going to have to build a clientele, and it really happens one client at a time. So, Lauren, I just think you change your environment and so that you're just in a better mindset, or learn to deal with what you're dealing with now, and allow yourself to focus on the big picture, not all the negatives in the short term. Look, folks, the day job is what gets you to the dream job, and there's a lot to gripe about, a lot to be upset about, a lot to be frustrated about in a day job. I get it. But it's all about the long term. And your day job sets you up, keeps you going, and it funds the dream job. So sometimes you just got to bite your lip, all right? And don't gripe and complain. Steel yourself and say, I'm doing what I have to do so I can do what I want to do. That's a major shift. 844-747-2577. Let's go to the chat room. Han Yolo. Oh, I like that. You think there's a little play on words going on? Madison gave me this. Oh, I think it's fun. Han Yolo says, I get stressed out pretty easy at work, and I end up taking it out on my coworkers. What can I do to help my attitude? Well, the first thing is you need to look inward. Stop creating stress for everybody else. Now, let's just think about this. Hey, Ken, I get stressed out really easy. And what do I do with that stress? I end up just dumping it on everybody else around me. It's like me and my kids. We're out doing water balloon fights this weekend. And one of my kids came up from behind me with a bucket of water, because I'm focused this way, throwing water balloons, and one of the boys comes up behind me and dumps a bucket on me. Got me really good. Well, let's follow this out. So instead of me, this is what Han Yolo's doing, all right? Han Yolo's me in this situation. But instead of Han going, you know what? What caused me to get dumped on, right? What's causing me to feel, oh, the boys got me? You know what happens? So it would be like me, instead of going after the one boy who did this to me, it'd be like me going, okay, all right, you surprised me and dumped me with cold water. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go get a bucket of cold water, and I'm going to dump it on my daughter. Well, wait a second. Wait. Josie didn't do that to me. So this is what Han Yolo's doing, right? External things, or maybe some personal things are happening, and he's getting stressed out. So what does he do? So number one, Han's getting stressed. But instead of Han going, why am I stressed? What's the cause of my stress? Is there a who? Is it a what? What's causing my stress? You know what he does? He goes, oh, I'm all stressed. It's making me negative, and I'm going to go find some innocent people, and I'm going to crap on them. That's what you're saying, Han. Now, what sense does that make? So you want to know what you can do to help your attitude? Start looking at yourself. Why are you getting so stressed out? I can tell you this. You can start to look at the three enemies we talk about every day on this show, which is fear, doubt, and pride. What are you afraid of? What are you doubting? And what's making your pride flare? I'm telling you right now, if you're stressed out and then you're taking it out on coworkers, here's what's happening. You are so wrapped up in you, and you're taking your stress and dumping it on everybody else. That's bad. That's really bad. So you want to fix your attitude. Start with what you're grateful for. Start with, why am I getting so stressed out? And boy, what stress am I creating for my coworkers? Now, good on you for chatting me and saying, hey, this is what's happening. I appreciate the honesty and the vulnerability, but wow, you're actually a bigger part of the problem than what's causing you stress, because you're taking your stress and carrying it over to somebody else. Another analogy, Joe, we're moving and we're cleaning all kinds of stuff. It's like all the stuff that I don't want. What if I just brought it over to your house, Joe? I knock on Joe's door. Joe, it's Sunday afternoon. Joe answers. Hey, Joe, I got a bunch of stuff that we're not going to take with us on the new move. And it's kind of junk. Cleaned out my junk drawer, Joe, and put it in a shoebox. Here you go. Joe doesn't want that. Do you?
No.
Okay, good. Because I thought, well, if you do want it.
No.
I could always kill the analogy and just bring you my junk.
Don't you dare.
You get my point. Folks, stop passing your junk around to everybody else. Deal with it. Oh, my goodness. Let's go to another one here. E. Rasco says, Ken, what do you do when everybody else around you is getting more growth opportunities? I'm starting not to care. I'm a technician. The other guys don't even have a high school diploma. I feel like this one might be in the same vein here. You're the common denominator in this situation. According to the way you wrote the chat, everybody else is getting opportunities. But you're not. You're probably the problem. Now, this is why I want you to call in the show so we could really dive into this, but I'll take a stab at it. What are the qualities, the positives, that all these other people who are getting opportunities have? Now, you said, well, Ken, some of these guys or gals don't have a high school diploma. So you're focusing on comparison. I want you to start to look at the qualities that all these people who are getting opportunities, what do they share? What's good? What is being rewarded is the exercise here. Are you doing these things? The answer is no. Why aren't you doing these things? That's what you need to be thinking about. And when you can do that, you begin to see, oh, okay. Now, I will tell you, there's 4 character qualities that will help you get promoted. And here's the good news. If you're low in these areas, you can grow in these areas. Here they are. You got to be likable, coachable, reliable, honorable. Okay? Likable. Come on. Just be a joy. When people see you coming, make them smile just by seeing you, because you lift them. You're just a positive guy to be around. Number 2, coachable. When you get correction in the office, do you receive it well? When you get instruction, do you receive it well? These are 2 different things. Correction, you did something wrong. They got to bring it up. You got to fix it. Do you do it with a good spirit? When they give you instruction, new things you got to learn. Do you receive it like a good student, a willing student? Reliable. That's simple. Can people count on you? And the 4th, honorable. Are you a man of integrity, high character? If you have those 4 qualities, you will get promoted. I promise. 844-747-2577 is the number. I think we could squeeze in another call. Somebody out there needs a call right now. I can just feel it. You're one phone call away. 844-747-2577. All right. So I talked about this at the top of the program. I said, I want to share with you one of the greatest mistakes in life that we all make. No one's immune to this mistake. You ready? Here it is. One of the greatest mistakes that you can make in life is always being afraid of making mistakes. You just are like this. You just always, oh my gosh, I could do it. And every once in a while you get a moment where you go, oh, here's an opportunity. And you start getting excited about the opportunity, and all of a sudden you snap back, oh gosh, but what if I make a mistake? Now, I think for just a moment, it's important to just take a quick look at the difference between a mistake and a moral decision that is wrong. So this is, what you did was wrong. This is wrong. This is a mistake. So a mistake is you're getting trained on some new skill at work or something like that, and they've trained you on how to do it, and you're trying to do it, and you're trying to implement it, and you simply do it incorrectly. That's a mistake. if I'm walking through the hall and I'm not paying attention and I bump into somebody with hot coffee and it gets on them, that's a mistake. That's just a mistake. I didn't do that on purpose. I wasn't paying attention. I was careless. It's a mistake. If I lie to the government about my taxes, or I lie to anybody, or I do something, I steal, or break any kind of integrity bond, that is not a mistake. That is a wrong decision, a bad decision. I willingly was dishonest. I willingly broke the law. I willingly cheated on my taxes. Those aren't mistakes. Okay? So understand the difference. Now, so here's the call we get a lot. People are just terrified of failing. And so that's a mistake. The idea of, I'm going to start a business. And so if you start a business and you get it going, get a little hot right out of the gate, then you expand too quickly, that's a mistake. Yes, it's a bad decision, but it's not a moral thing. I used my judgment on this and I went this direction. I made this decision and it was the incorrect decision. Not wrong in the sense of right and wrong, but it's an incorrect business decision. It's just not good. Messed up on my math problem. That's a mistake. Making mistakes on the test is a mistake. But so many people are afraid of that. And that's why I say one of the greatest mistakes in life is to continuously be in a mindset where you're afraid of doing something incorrectly. Guess what? The only way to do something correctly is to do it incorrectly. It's just how it is. You've got to learn how to do it. Master mechanics don't just get it right the first time. Builders, right? Somebody who does carpentry, cabinet making, anything like that. I'm just trying to help you understand. People that are scientists, hello, the very definition of science is I have a hypothesis, I'm going to test it so that I get the mistakes out of the way. So understand that the key to progress will be mistakes. Now you can mitigate the mistakes, which means I'm going to take some calculated risks. Meaning I'm going to try this science experiment, but here's what I know. I'm not going to blow the house up if it doesn't work. Okay? We've all been here, but there's something about public failure, or even if it's not truly public, but one or two people seeing that our business idea didn't work, that keeps us paralyzed. And I'm telling you that one of the great mistakes that most people make is living in fear of making mistakes. You got to embrace the mistakes. You can go about it the right way so that there's not a lot of collateral damage, but that you learn from the mistakes. And as a result, you make even more progress. Folks, getting after it, doing anything on purpose, you're going to have a lot of mistakes. It's going to be okay. You'll be all right. 844-747-2577 is the number to jump in. Hey, big news. We told you last week we got our first live stream event coming out of the Ken Coleman Show. It's called Get Hired, and it's this Thursday night, 7 p.m. Central, 8 Eastern. You can get your ticket at kencoleman.com/events. kencoleman.com/events. Only $10. Now, we've got some bonus tiers, and those things are going like hotcakes. The response has been fantastic. I'm super excited about it because here's the reality. We've got right now, as it stands, and this number isn't correct, it's outdated already, 36.5 million people have filed for unemployment. It's going to be over 40 when we get May numbers. They're going to be 40 million people, okay, that are going to be looking for work. Let's just have some fun for perspective for a moment. Let's say that it's 30 million people are going to apply now and in the next 3-4 months, right? Let's say that those 30 million people submit an average of 5 resumes. I think that's low. I think it's probably closer to 10. You're looking at 150 million to 300 million resumes. You got to stand out. There's going to be a tidal wave of people wanting to get hired. I'm going to teach you how to stand out so you can step up in your career, whether it's, I just need a job. I don't know a bunch of people. You know plenty of people. I'm going to teach you. 844-747-2577. I'm going to get back to the phones briefly, but I want to make sure that you are telling your friends and family that need to get hired about the event. So we'll see you Thursday night. Get Hired live stream event. Tickets only $10. Buy them at kencoleman.com/events. kencoleman.com/events. Let's go to Braden in Newcastle, Indiana. Braden, you're on the Ken Coleman Show.
Hey, Ken, how's it going?
I'm living the dream, Braden. What's up?
Okay, so I'm 20 years old. I just got a job at Walmart, and I make about $11 an hour. So I was just wondering, what can I do to prepare myself properly for the future?
Well, what do you want to do in the future?
So I'm trying to save up to build a computer, because I would like to eventually be like a YouTuber.
Okay, hold on a second. I'm not understanding what you're saying. Let's see if we can adjust that phone a little bit. You're trying to save up to buy a computer. Did I hear that part correctly?
Yes.
And why oh boy, that's a game changer. Speaking of getting clear, I just got clear. So what are you buying the computer for?
I would like to record and make YouTube videos on the side.
Okay, great. Do you not have a computer now?
I do, but it doesn't work good enough.
You have an iPad?
No, I don't.
You got a phone?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd start recording videos on your phone until you save up. Don't wait, is my point. Get started.
Okay.
Launch the YouTube channel. You can do that from your phone. And you can start shooting videos on your phone. Am I right, Nathan? Am I giving him bad advice? The director of the YouTube channel. I mean, he can do all that via a smartphone just to get started. Yeah. I mean, my goodness. Don't just wait. But go ahead and start now. And as you're saving up money, and you know what? I'd work a second job. You're young. You're 20 years old. I'd work a second job, because guess what, Braden? The more you work, the more money you make, the quicker you get the equipment, the computer, the cameras, and all the stuff you want. And I would just be working nonstop if I were you. Because in order for you to make money, you're going to have to produce a lot of videos. I would recommend one a day. And the good news is, Braden, is that if that's what you want to do full time, is that right? You want to be a professional YouTuber?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, then you need to study the people that are winning. There are a lot of people on YouTube that are pros. Read everything they've ever written, whether it be a blog, an article, a book. There are, I'm guessing, YouTube channels that teach you how to win at YouTube. I would be digesting those things all the time and working 2 and 3 jobs to support yourself financially while you build your YouTube channel. Make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's it, my man. That's the playbook. You cannot quit. And the other thing is, there's a lot of people that are like Braden. There's nothing wrong with what Braden's thinking, but Braden is in this mindset of, well, I've got to get a computer to be able to start. No, you don't. I think if you keep giving yourself excuses, folks, as to why you can't start, something's going to happen and you won't be able to get the equipment, and all of a sudden the equipment becomes the excuse. And I'm just telling you, there's fear and doubt in there. And we like to blame it on, well, I don't have a nice computer. Well, who cares? Joe Hankin, I could teach Joe. Guys, we could teach Joe to launch a YouTube channel in about 5 minutes, wouldn't you say? And even Joe on his smartphone could start shooting videos out in Colombia on how to fix a car in your garage. Joe, you could do that. So there's no reason that Braden can't. All on a smartphone.
I can do it.
I know you can. Boy, by the way, in our next show meeting, we should probably brainstorm all the things that would be great for Joe to do on YouTube. I think that would be...
That'd be some compelling content.
I think it would be compelling to our audience, because we go, listen, Joe's 50-something. We don't know. We're not allowed to say. And he did it, so you can do it.
If Joe can do it.
I think that's perfect. I think it's perfect, because you don't get on the old YouTube much, do you?
No.
That's what I thought. See, fantastic. All right, folks, my time is almost up. But before I let you go, I want you to know that you matter and you do have what it takes. Thank you so much for joining us. Until next time, this is the Ken Coleman Show. Press on.